He doesn't use pen or paper, write down anything. He doesn't use app or anything. He just remembers. I'm like, that's awesome. I can't do that. I have to have a reminder app or write it down to get it done.
Yeah.
That's how I write down my goals too.
For real though. So what's your fitness goals currently? Like, where you, or what's the inspiration to work out, I guess, or stay fit?
The inspiration is that a lot of people in my family have a lot of preventable diseases, such as diabetes and things like that could have been avoided if they watched their diet, exercise more. So that's what's really encouraged me to keep up with a healthy life and active lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I try to attend the gym 3 times a week. I go like 5:30, 6:30 in the morning most times, and just try to keep up with that. Being that I'm not in college anymore, in high school I used to run track, so we used to always work out consistently. In college I didn't have that, so that's where it kind of like started building that habit of going to the gym and
doing
scheduling it
for
in.
you, not necessarily for like a competitive reason.
Exactly. So that's an extra push, and it's actually hard to get up in the morning to go. So to decrease that resistance, I try to have my gym close out in the morning in order to like make it easier for me to get up and get ready and go out the door.
But I know, so I can't remember. What did you say you got are you working on your master's right now, or you have a master's?
No, I have no master's.
Okay, but
we're not working on the master's.
But you're working on it.
No. So
okay.
I don't really want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about the whole that whole situation. It's a really bad situation that I'm not ready to talk about because them people are crazy.
Yeah.
But just I guess to say, so right now I graduated from University of Maryland College Park.
Yeah.
And I majored in public health science, and I did public health science, and I was on the pre-med track along with minoring in business and innovation entrepreneurship.
Okay, bad.
So my plans were to attend medical school and become a physician. Still have goals of doing something in the healthcare field down the road, possibly. But right now I'm fully focused on entrepreneurship and going full-time on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we had started talking about it a little bit before we started recording, but you were pretty much saying that you wanted to go, like full-fledged into that now, like you want to put all your focus into the entrepreneurship side.
Right.
I know we talked about it a little bit, but what were you telling me, I think, as far as, like making that decision, like feeling that, your talent, something that comes a little bit more naturally for you versus, like sort of like forcing yourself into something else, like, those reasons.
It's kind of hard. This is like right now you're documenting a very pivotal moment of my life.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm stuck between 2 crossroads. I'm between whether or not I want to go fully entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurial route, or go the traditional route, become a physician and doctor. I'm not being forced into any path. Like most people have the pressure from their parents to go become a doctor or a lawyer or engineer. I don't have that. I'm the one that put that pressure on myself and created that desire that I want to become a physician, and I always had that in the back of my mind. However, I also know that what I'm naturally gifted at, just like how you have some naturally born athletes who are good at certain things when it comes to competing and competing at a highest level, like the Olympics and a professional league. I know that I have the skills to perform at a high level to do entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I've proven it time and time over again. And I haven't really put my foot in. I just been dipping my foot in the water, but not really going all the way in and immersing myself. So now I feel like, based off of some experiences that I've had as I've been on this pre-med journey and this doctor journey, I realized that I'm wasting some talent that I have when it comes to entrepreneurship. And I always said that I wanted to merge both of them, but then I realized the talent that I also have is in creating. And a lot of people love the things that I create, as far as clothing and whatnot. And I actually started my first brand in 2010 when I graduated middle school and started high school.
Yeah.
And that's where it really started for me, as far as clothing and merging entrepreneurship. But I've been in entrepreneurship since elementary school, knocking on doors, selling magazines and selling fundraisers from the Scholastic's book drive and stuff like that. And in high school, selling magazines.
Yeah.
I've always been the top seller in my class or in the entire school.
Yeah.
So when it comes to selling and doing sales, that's not a problem for me. I know how to go out there and connect with people. And that's just something that I've been putting on the back burner because I wanted to become a physician.
Yeah.
But I've been having a lot of resistance with that where it really shouldn't be. But I just been having all these different obstacles. And it's like, all right, well, Akeem, why don't you just keep pushing and go get over these hurdles that you're having? And I'm just like, yeah, but is there something else that I should be doing?
Yeah.
Is there something else that could get me the success that I want? And yeah, I can answer that question and say yes. It's entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
It's something that I've been doing for a while and just haven't really putting 110% into it. And if I did, I feel like I could get some really significant results.
Yeah.
And it's all about connections and relationships.
Definitely. Yeah, I spoke on a few things. I know one thing that I want to get into was your interests, because I think I saw it, 2010 was when you got started.
Yes.
You were like 25 or? You 25, 20?
Yeah, so I'm 25 right now. So I started when I was 15.
That's what I was about to say. So you started off high
14,
school
15.
like with the brand. That's crazy. But so I wanted to get into like those beginnings as well. But then I also just wanted to mention as far as like talents, because I feel like I was maybe listening or watching a Warren Buffett documentary or something like that. But he was pretty much talking about like how his success was based off of the fact that he like found what he was like naturally like gifted in early on, which is like finances. So he pretty much says like at an early age, it might have been like 8 or something like that, where like so all his knowledge and like experience is all just like, he calls it like compound interest pretty much. So like, as he's like growing, like he just was continued to constantly like just diving into the finance area. So I don't know like if that's like relatable for you, I guess like. Or entrepreneurship for you is like just your natural, gift, I guess. So like that's what you.
So far as that, like my first initial experience, like I mentioned before, was when I was a young kid, just going around knocking on doors and selling different things for the school and raising funds for my class and for the church and all these different things. I never really did it for myself. The one time when I started doing it for myself, my mom started having yard sales, and at that point, she was selling her stuff, her clothing goods and whatnot and miscellaneous items. I decided that I wanted to start a hot dog lemonade stand. And I don't know who told me to go and do it, but I decided to go and get hot dogs and go and sell them. And, I made money. And the first time, I never knew what an entrepreneur was.
Right.
It was when I was selling the hot dogs and my mom's friend from church came over to like shop with her. And she was like, oh, look at this young entrepreneur. Look at him. You know what you're doing is called entrepreneur. You might be an entrepreneur one day.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I've ever heard that word. Never knew what it was. And that's always been in the back of my mind. And I've been dipping in it. So after that was in like middle school when I was doing the hot dog stands and stuff. But then when it was high school, I started the clothing line. And then when I got to college, I was still doing the clothing line, but then I wanted to major in business, but then I wasn't really sure how that was going to mesh with the pre-med stuff.
Yeah.
So I decided not to do that, but minored in it just to make sure I get some experience and some more information than what I was already given. And so from there, I entered into competitions on college campuses, on the college campus at University of Maryland. And I kind of jumped ahead. In high school, I entered this challenge called the Red Sea Challenge. And it was like a business incubator for anyone in the Calvert Hall to come up with a business idea that they thought was viable for the school to do to help increase sales for the school store. And so my team, I formulated the team of group members, and we came up with the idea. We pitched in front of the alumni board and the judge panels, and we won the first time that they did the competition. The next year they did the competition, they had another problem or challenge that they wanted us to solve. We solved it, and we won again, first place, back to back. So, and I formulated the team. And that's when I really realized, like, okay, maybe I do have a knack for business, and I do enjoy solving problems and creating solutions that people enjoy for as entrepreneurial, that entrepreneurial spirit. And then it was when I got to college, I decided to do, minor in business, and then got more business information and experience and knowledge. And then from there, did another competition. We had a class where we had to start a new business from scratch. And I started a photography and videography company where we did videography, photography, and did a Mother's Day sale and made a lot of money. And we were the top business in the class. So every time I do these things,
Yeah.
I always end up being first place or top, making the most money in the class. It's about making profit, and that's what we did. And we always win. So those little experiences that I've had over the years accumulated to me making this decision, accumulated me and made me have the confidence within myself and know that I have the wherewithal to perform at a high level, to possibly do this big.
Yeah.
And so those experiences I don't regret. Like, because some people's like, don't go to college, don't go to school. I think it's important to go to college. I think it's important to at least have a degree and something to fall back on just in case, and also gain some valuable skills and knowledge. And your network is important. I have a vast network of people that are doctors, future lawyers, future engineers. I have all of those people under my belt. And that's because I went to school and I met them. And they know me for me and the different things that I do. Everybody always knew I was wanting to become a doctor, but everybody always knew that I was entrepreneurial too.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm doing something brand new. This is something I've always been doing.
Yeah. And I know, so you were talking about, like, as far as the competitive side of things, or like just the, that natural gift as far as like being in high school and winning those competitions and then going off to college and winning those competitions. But I'm also thinking about back in high school, because we're the same age. So I remember seeing Riches and Royalty, like, in high school, like, and the way that you were, like, campaigning and like what you were just talking about as far as like your ability to network and like meet different people, like that was showing, back in high school. So like just your ability to even, get your brand to the level that it was in high school, that's like, serious. Like, it's just as far as, your success on to that extent. Like, I think you might still have a pick, but it was like Young Moose rocking, Riches and Royalty.
Like
those, like,
it was Little Scooter.
Oh yeah,
Moose was in the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was very crazy because I just literally DM'd them. This is before Instagram got really complicated, because like now when you DM people that you don't know,
like
it goes
to, like,
to the different inbox and stuff like that. So back then I think it still went to the regular inbox. And so he saw the message and he said he liked the clothes and he wanted to wear it. So I met up with him, drove down to the hood, and we met him on the block. And we just started kicking it, talking, and he was able to do the video and he liked the clothes. I gave him a couple of hoodies. And from there, like, I knew that I had something, but I wasn't sure. Like, I already proved the concept. I already had people from the local high schools and in the community supporting me. But I just knew that if I get it on a celebrity, a local celebrity, that would help do me wonders. Yeah, and that did help with brand recognition, but I don't think it really blew like how I expected that, how I wanted it to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, like, currently, do you think that's important, just as far as, like, getting it to those specific crowds of people, just to, like, not just to, but in order to get more exposure, like, or like that, like, almost like, getting stamped, like, this person is rocking it, so, like, it's going to be,
Yeah, it definitely solidifies your brand.
Yeah.
It gives social proof.
Right.
That's what you want. You want to have social proof. So if someone that's not familiar with my brand and they enjoy certain artists, such as, Moneybagg Yo, they like Moneybagg Yo, and they see him wearing the hoodie, then they more likely are going to buy into the brand and think it's more credible and support it.
Yeah.
Because their favorite artist is wearing it. So it adds that stamp of approval, like you said. But I don't think that's not the end game. That's not the all be all, because you could have one quick of success and you have sales go up and then it's done. But it's about how do you build a longevity? How do you build a brand? How do you build a community?
How do you build off of those recognitions?
How do you build off of that? How do you build a community? How do you retain those customers? And that's where we get deep. And that's where having business knowledge and having the acumen of understanding how new e-commerce platforms work, how to market.
Yeah.
That's where we start talking about the big boy questions and the big boy, the conversations, because it's a lot of tools out there, but people just don't know how to use them.
Yeah, because I've seen, like, people with, like, a crazy following, like, they might have, like, crazy amount of, like, following on Instagram or something like that, or they might even have, like, a lot of followers on or subscribers on YouTube, but they aren't really leveraging their amount of influence that they have. Like, they might just, post some pics and, like, that's it. But, like, they're, like, because they have such a large following, like, they could, open up, like, it's so much more opportunities that they could take on, but they just, they don't, I guess they don't necessarily know, the big boy,
and
you know what I mean?
And that's where if you don't understand how to do certain things, that's where you have to ask for help. That's where you have to be comfortable within yourself to step out of your comfort zone and ask for help and bring in an expert who knows marketing, who knows sales, and understands the e-commerce world that we live in right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good following on any social media platform, from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, you should be able to monetize that group. It's okay to monetize. I think a lot of people are scared to monetize because they feel like, oh, it just looks like I'm in it for the money. But hey, we live in a capitalist society where everyone is making money. Even the same social media platforms that you're on are making money off of you right now.
Right.
So it's like, why shouldn't you take care of yourself and make sure your family's good as well?
Yeah.
But it really comes down to what type of value are you offering to people, and how can they in return support you and what you're doing.
Yeah. And how important was the classes that you took just like at University of Maryland, as far as like that the literacy, or like the language of business? Like did it help you, or did you learn a lot more like just on your own, like as far as like studying outside of so, what I mean?
So I had the best of both worlds when it comes to that specifically, because like you said, I started the brand in 2010 before college even came into the picture. I started the brand just going off the whim, just going with the flow. I literally had so many failures and experiences along this journey. People robbing from me, people stealing to me, people lying to me. I didn't write any contracts, just agreed on their words. They took my shirts, didn't do the job. I never heard from them again. People bailing out. Like, I've been through the whole 9 yards. But when I got to school, I got to be able to understand contract agreements, partner agreements, understanding partnership splits, understanding what an MVP is, a minimal viable product, understanding a minimal viable product. So MVP, basically, like if you have an idea or a concept, for example, before Apple came out with this computer that you have right here, they sketched up a mock version of it, and they showed different people this thing. Do you like this design? And you get feedback on it. That's your minimal viable product. You may have this product in mind, but what is the lowest minimal version that you can do to bring it to the physical space so that people can give you feedback on it?
Right.
And it's good to get feedback. Sometimes people think that you have to have this perfect product. Like you have to have this thing that's solid.
Yeah.
No. You should have the most MVP, minimal viable product, that you're able to go out into the world and test. Testing is key. Testing with anything when it comes to running ads, showing people your product, getting feedback is important. So testing and going out and getting people's feedback. What do you think about this color of this shirt? What do you think about this design? What do you think I could do to improve? I literally been doing this with my clothing brand since I've been revamping it. I go out with my design that I'm wearing. I just walk up to random people in the grocery store. I don't go to everybody. I go to people who are my target audience. That's another thing. You have to know who your target audience is. And that's another thing that I struggled with before I went to college. I didn't know who my target audience was. I was just selling shirts just to sell shirts. I thought my design was cool and I was just selling it to anybody. I was targeting 40, 50-year-olds with this cash stack, and they don't necessarily want to wear big old cash on them, but the younger kids do. But I was trying to go for everybody. But if you know who your target audience is and you know who you're trying to reach, African American, Jewish population, Caucasian, whites, age differences and whatever. Like, niche down, find who you want to reach out to, and then ask them. So when I went to the grocery store, I saw young kids wearing Yeezys like me, cool kids, the cool kids. And I went up to them and I asked them, what do you think about this design? Would you wear it? Yeah, I F with that. I like that. I like that design. I would wear that. That gives me, and then I don't just take with that. This is how I really know if they really like the brand, because people can just tell you what they want you to hear, right? What you want to hear. And so this is what I know when they really like it, is when I say, what's your Instagram? And I have them put their Instagram in my phone on my business page. And usually they don't follow me right back on the spot. But when I go back home and when they go back home, if they follow me back, then I know it was really real. Then I know it's really real. And that's what happened multiple times. I let them follow me. I let them follow my Instagram. I follow them on Instagram, and then they go home and they follow back. So that's when I know it's really real. So it's about testing and getting an experience, and it's through going to college I really got to understand that a little bit better. Understanding those entrepreneurial principles, those business principles about building an effective product that people actually want and desire. And then talking about desire and keeping that, that's a whole nother conversation.
And in my field, I meet a lot of people that they aren't as social. So like, what are the, I guess, like, is it, you feel like it's necessary, like, because you're saying that you're going in the grocery store and you're just talking to like random people. Like, some people might not necessarily have that comfort to just, talk to somebody about that, and then also receive feedback on it. Because like, it's times where, you might walk up to somebody and be like, yeah, hey, and they might ignore you. They might not be interested at all, or like they might just tell you, like they might even be honest with you, be like, I don't even like it, you know what I mean? Or I wouldn't wear it, but something like, or they might give you some type of, so like, I guess where does the confidence come from? And like, is it just natural for you to be able to do that?
So the thing is, a lot of people thought I was shy when I was younger and thought that I couldn't speak. I don't know why. They don't realize that I'm the type of person, when I first walk into a situation that I don't know and don't really feel comfortable in, I'm studying everyone in the room. I'm watching their behaviors. I'm watching everyone and how they interact and engage, and figuring out who I want to talk to, who I want to be with, who's the cool person, who's not the cool person. I'm analyzing. And I'm a social person, and I know how to move in those spaces. And I've built up this confidence over the years through different leadership positions. So in middle school, I ran for student body president. I didn't win it because some dilemma that happened, but then in high school, I ran for junior class president, built up those public relations skills, speaking in front of people on a teleprompter every morning, doing the morning announcements, butchering the morning announcements, and people laughing at me because I missaying words, which is hilarious. The whole entire school was laughing at me one day because it was just so funny. It was just a bad situation. But just like having those different leadership experiences, that's why I encourage all my young family members, my nieces and nephews, to always go out and put yourself in leadership roles and go on sports teams and move up the ranks, because it helps build your confidence level, your self-esteem. So people thought I was quiet when I was younger just because I didn't speak. It wasn't necessarily that I wasn't confident, but it was just like I just needed more experiences. And I encourage people to get that experience in order to increase those social skills. And that will allow you to walk into any room and feel comfortable. It doesn't matter who's in there, black, white, Asian, blue, yellow, orange. You walk in there and you command that room. That's all it is. And also I have a YouTube channel, so Mission to Medicine. I was documenting my pre-med journey. And so I'm very comfortable in front of the camera because I had to vlog my whole entire life. So that also built up my skill, my communication skills, and not really being cared about being judged and caring about what people think about me, and caring about, oh, if I do this or talk like this, they're going to make fun of me and think I'm not cool or think I'm too white or too black, blah, blah, blah. Like, who cares?
Right, yeah. You said Mission to Medicine?
Yeah, so on my pre-med journey, I realized that there weren't a lot of African Americans in medicine, for one. Everybody knows that. And then black men, on top of that, it's even smaller if you were going down. And then on top of that, on YouTube, it was none. It was like none showcasing their experience. Like, we see people get to their end goal of being a physician or whatever that comes. We see the Bill Gates and we see the Warren Buffetts, we see the Ben Carsons of the world. These big people get to their journey, but we don't get to see the storyline of how they got there. So I wanted to document the storyline of wherever I end up going. If it's becoming a doctor, becoming a multimillionaire entrepreneur, I want that experience to be documented. And I want people to go back and look at my legacy. I want you to be able to go to my tombstone one day and put the QR code and the video pops up of my whole life.
For real though. That's true. Like if you think of like a lot of the successful people, and then I was just talking to my girl about this, but when you're for instance, if you're talking to I think we were talking about Kobe, and I was asking her about I was like, okay, so Kobe, whenever you think about Kobe Bryant, you're thinking like, all right, he's spending all of this time practicing, like, so it's like, after practice he's practicing, and you never think about him like as having a bad day, you know what I mean, or like having some sort of like struggling moment. Like when you think of like successful people, you always think of like just this perfect like conquest, like where it's like they went from here, then they went to there, then they went to there. So they got their bachelor's degree in 3 years. They did this, then they got their master's degree. Then they, ended up going to this company and they met these people, and this person put them into this position, and now they're the CEO of like some like crazy big firm. But we don't necessarily see like the background, like the real, like, today I gotta put in this work, and I'm not really feeling like doing it today, but like I'm gonna just do it. Like, let me like reframe my mindset. Let me like, buckle down. So like I like that idea. Just, like really documenting like,
for sure
the process.
And the one documentary that everybody should look at right now is The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, and like his whole journey on the Bulls and whatnot. And just like his growth in his career, the ups and downs, the different things and obstacles that he had to overcome, and just showing his resilience and talent and perseverance and determination to just be the best at what he does. Like, that was so inspiring for me. Like, this past year, I went through a lot. Like I went through a lot. I don't really want to talk about it too much, but I went through a lot with my graduate program. And after I finished it, it was really heartbreaking because I didn't get the outcome that I wanted. And I spent a couple of months just like feeling very depressed and just not sure what exactly I wanted to do. And it made me recalculate and recalibrate what my goals should be and tap back into my talent and realizing what my true purpose and what I'm really gifted at. And I watched that documentary from the start to the finish, and I got so inspired and made me realize that I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing what I was supposed to do. And it made me come back to the drawing board to revisit and to go full force on this. And I think sometimes it's necessary to have those experiences where you just sit back and you reflect, and then you come up with a game plan and you just execute.
Yeah. Damn, that's tough. I guess no, let me not go there yet. Riches and royalty. Where did that come from? Like, what was the inspiration behind just like the name and, you know, just the brand in general? Like, when
the brand idea first came about, so I graduated from middle school and I applied to Giant to get a shopping cart job, to push shopping carts, to move it into the place. I didn't hear back from them, and then I was like, all right, screw this. I see a whole bunch of people coming up with clothing lines. It wasn't a whole bunch, but it was like a couple people in my area was coming up with brands. But everybody was just slapping words on a shirt. And I was like, all right, let me come up with a concept that is not just words on a shirt and put an actual logo, like a logo design, you know, that you could just see and remember, like, all right, that's R&R. Specifically how the word riches and royalty came about, I can't even tell, like, I don't remember, I don't exactly remember how the actual words riches and royalty came about. And mind you, I was 14, 15 years old. I was just going with the flow, what was coming in my mind and what was just happening at the time. And sometimes you need to just take a pause, right? You need to take a pause and revisit and replan and restructure. So now I have an understanding of what riches and royalty mean. Now I have an understanding of what my brand identity is. Now I have an understanding of who my target audience is because of the experiences that I've had in entrepreneurship, gaining business knowledge. Now I know how to focus and rebrand and refocus on what I want to do. And so initially when I first started, I didn't have a lot of that. So I started the brand, had the idea, sketched stuff out. And I didn't start off with t-shirts. That's what a lot of people don't understand, is that when you're starting a brand or anything like that, you don't necessarily have to start off with the end product. You just need to get it out there in the physical space. MVP again, right? So I actually started off with metal pin buttons. A metal pin button with my logo sketched out that I sketched out on the first generation iPad. When they first came with the iPad, they had some type of little app on there where I could just draw. And I drew out with a little fake stylus. The Apple Pencil wasn't a thing. So I used a little stylus and I just drew an R going one way, the other R going backwards, with a $sign inside of one R and a heart in the other one. And from there, that's where Riches and Royalty came about, at a cafeteria table. Sketched it out, showed my friends. Everybody was like, oh, that's cool, I like it. And I was like, okay, bet, I'm gonna put it on a button. And then I went around the school, sold a $5 button. I sold a metal button, pin button for $5 to everybody in the school, sold it to teachers, sold it to everybody in Calvert Hall.
Damn.
And I got support. Some people laughed at me, like, Akeem, nobody's gonna buy your clothing. Who do you think you are? People joked me off and laughed me off, but it was a game. And then a couple weeks after that, definitely came out with my t-shirts with my logo on it, and it was solidified. It wasn't the little stencil, it wasn't that design, it was my real design that I got made. And sometimes you just gotta start small. Your idea started small, get feedback on it, sell it if you can, and move on.
That's tough. That's tough. So the importance of riches and royalty now for you, is it any like, I guess like royalty, is that, are you thinking about, you know, like royal ancestry, or like what is it for you now, I guess?
I'm glad you asked that question. So now that I have a better understanding of what I want my brand to mean, this is what it means. So obviously we see the stack of cash here, right? And that represents riches, but then it could also represent royalty. So riches and royalty. Royalty is not just the, you know, the ancestrage, the people in London and in Britain, you know, the monarch, in the traditional sense. But royalty represents that reoccurring generational wealth. That wealth that's coming in passively, that you don't have to do. You built something, you built a business, you created an idea that's creating you revenue each month that you don't touch,
Yeah.
that you don't have
That's
to put in
true.
hard labor for.
Yeah.
So that's the royalty that I'm talking about. And so I feel like everyone desires riches and royalty, whether they want
Right.
to say it or not. Everyone wants to have riches and royalty, but it's about what you do to get there.
Yeah.
It's what you do to get to the stack of cash. We have to stack up on our education. We have to stack up on our knowledge, stack up on our ambition, stack up on our drive, stack up on our health, stack up on our mental health, stack up on our network, stack up on our opportunities, and stack up on our assets in order to achieve riches and royalty and get the stack of cash.
Yeah.
And so that's the real meaning. That's what we're really doing. We're trying to encourage people to stack up to reach their goals of achieving wealth and success.
That's tough. And you said royalties, like I started thinking about royalties, like, you know, a musician, you get royalties, you know, based off of like an album. So it's like, you know, you have or like, you know, you got an old album that's still like, so you still getting those
Michael
royalties.
Jackson.
So it's like,
his kids are eating off of all of those album sales. Thriller, every single October when everybody going crazy with Thriller, who's eating? His estate is getting all that money, and the kids.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
And so you said stack up on your education. So I've been talking to, like, whenever I talk to a few people, you know, like the few guests that I've had, I like to discuss a little bit, just like as far as like, you know, the importance of education. So you said stack up on your education. Like, what do you mean by? I think you said we need to, you know, stack up on our education. Like, what's your you know, perception or idea behind that?
So my idea behind that, it doesn't necessarily mean go to college or, you know, the traditional route of go to, you know, get education, but it means get experiences in whatever field that you're in or your industry you're in. You need to get experience, you need to get knowledge, you have to hone that craft, hone your talent in order to achieve success. You got to stack up on these things. It's not easy to stack up. It takes time. I went to high school, learned. I went to college, learned. I went to grad school and learned. None of those experiences were hard. I mean, none of those experiences were easy. They were all hard, especially college and grad school, because I was doing medicine. I was doing pre-med, and that stuff is no joke.
Nah, not at all.
Like, it takes a lot out of you, and you have to be willing to put in that time and that energy and that effort in order to achieve success. And that's why I encourage people to stack up. But it doesn't necessarily always have to mean college, though. So if you decide that you don't want to go to college, maybe it might be trade school. Or maybe it might be working for your parents' company and learning about that business and learning the ins and out of it, so you'll be able to run it one day and keep it in the family line, in the bloodline, right? So it's just about honing those experiences whatever way you see fit for you.
Yeah. And nowadays, I hate to say nowadays, but I feel like it's starting to be less. I mean, it still is there, but as far as like, you know, having a college degree, it's not fully necessary. I think some people, they more so focus on like your skill set. So if you are, like what you're saying, just educating yourself and like you're learning certain things and you build up a certain skill set, people will, you know, take you just for that specifically, not necessarily because you got a degree behind it. But if they know, like, if I can quiz you right now and ask you, you know, like, I don't know, what's something about mRNA or some shit, like, I don't know, like something like that. You know what I mean?
Whoa. Don't reenact no trauma. I don't want to be traumatized now, bro.
But just from, you know, your ability to like answer that question, and you might not have went to college for it. You might have just read up on it on your own, and you know these things because that's your interest. So like
YouTube University,
exactly.
Like, you can learn so much off of YouTube. A lot of people can learn valuable skills off of how to become a real estate agent, how to own and operate a business and start an online business. You can make so much money on e-commerce right now if you know how to run ads and know how to properly have a product that people want and how to get it in front of them and position it. You can do well. It's just about educating yourself and taking that time to stack up.
Yeah, for real though. Do you draw any inspiration now as far as your like designs and stuff like that, or like, you know, any types of you know, future products that you're going to put out? Like, do you draw inspiration from any brands?
I'm definitely very inspired by a lot of great brands, a lot of designers out there. Wow. Some
a lot of them coming. I don't know where
some designers that I'm extremely inspired by is Virgil, obviously, Virgil Abloh. I actually met him in Paris when I went there like 3 years ago.
Word.
Got to talk to him a little bit outside the club where he was DJing. And then I also am extremely inspired by Kanye West. He's like one of my idols, people that I look up to.
I'm about to sit this right there.
I'm inspired by Kanye. He's someone that I look up to. I'm also inspired by these couple of brands called God is Dope. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Nah.
God is Dope. They have a great brand. They do excellent marketing online, and they really know how to use e-commerce, and they teach a lot of people on their YouTube channel about it. Also, another brand that is good is World Envision. They do a lot of work on teaching people how to hone their e-commerce skills online and how to build a brand. They do an excellent job with that. And then also another brand that I'm inspired by is Johnny Cupcakes. I don't know if you ever heard of them. Is this man that he's done a really great job building his brand identity. And this was a brand back in the day. I think they're still around, but he has a store that's set up as a bakery. Johnny Cupcakes is in his name. So his shirts are on baking sheets inside of an oven, inside of a refrigerator, and he has it set up as an experiential type of brand,
that's tough,
which is awesome because people are not only just coming for the shirt, but they're coming for the experience
of the store,
that's different from any other t-shirt brand or clothing line in the industry. So that's what I inspire to have for Riches and Royalty. I have a concept and idea in my mind that I want to do for it. I don't want to say it right now because I don't want nobody to steal my idea, but I have something that is going to be experiential. If I'm able to scale this brand and get it out there to a larger audience and have physical location brick and mortar stores, we know that we're moving away from brick and mortar to going online. But if we do have a brick and mortar store, I want to create an experiential experience that people get to remember, like, wow, Riches and Royalty provided this experience that is unique from these other brands. And I'm going to start portraying that and conveying that through online media. You will start seeing that very soon.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Damn. So I wanted to talk to you about, I saw that you had posted, or maybe I saw like a link in your bio maybe, but it was like a group of just like, I think it was black men, just professionals, like coming together. I think they might have been, I don't know if they were all like med students or something like that, but it was, I just wanted to talk to you about, you know, like having a certain surrounding, like as far as your peers or like having mentors, like the importance of just being surrounded by people that, you know, I guess look like you or might have the same similar interests as you, and you know, drawing off of that energy.
So far as my networking and the community that I have built, so anytime I do something, I try to do it at the most highest level, right? So in the pre-med community, I'm known as one of those kids that are just like, oh my God, like he's definitely gonna become a doctor. He's definitely gonna do it at the highest level. Like Akeem doesn't play. When I do my stuff, I do it at the highest level. That's why, like, it's just, I'm very passionate about the things that I do. And that's what you can see in this interview. Like, I'm passionate about R&R, I'm passionate about entrepreneurship and teaching people and letting them have a better understanding of who I am and what I represent. So when it comes to pre-med and the community that I had in college, I created communities. I started an event called the Minority Meals in Medicine Symposium along with my friend Cameron Burt. He's now in medical school, and we both worked to create this community because we realized that there weren't enough black men on campus coming together that were on the pre-med track. So we wanted to create a space where people felt safe, that they could network with people that were already medical doctors so they could get opportunities to excel and explore in the career. So with that, that's built up a family, a group of people that are on the same path, the like minds, and that fostered a network and built a network there. So I do have a strong network of physicians and people who are on that route or becoming future doctors because of my experience as a pre-med student. I wasn't just a pre-med in the back of the class, I was a pre-med on the front of the class doing the work, creating groups, being a leader. So that allowed me to build my network, and not just in medicine. I have so many people outside of medicine that want to connect with me because of my network. Because we can network together and build up our networks together and link different people. So that's what it's all about, and I think that's really helpful and beneficial because I actually plan on coming out with a medical professions clothing line specifically for people pursuing healthcare fields, healthcare related fields. So that's coming very soon based off of my YouTube channel. It's stemming off my YouTube channel.
That's tough.
So people look out for that too. But yeah.
And I know that you were talking about, so I guess linking that as far as, you know, you coming out with something tailored to the medical industry. What was your mindset as far as entrepreneurship in medicine? Like, were you thinking about making, you know, like a pharmaceutical company, or like what was?
That's the crazy part, because like I always thought, all right, how am I going to merge entrepreneurship and medicine? Like, I have to do this because I know I'm passionate about entrepreneurship, but I can't do the clothing line right now because I'm gonna be a medical student. I have to study medicine. There's no way I'm gonna be able to balance both. It's gonna be crazy. And I'm just like, oh, I can't do it. So I was like, let me just study to become a doctor, wait 10, 15 years before I get to act on my business stuff. I'm just like, that's not realistic for me. Like, I have to get business out. I have this itch that I have to just scratch. I have to get this business stuff out of me. I have to do it. So the initial thing was I was thinking about becoming a doctor and then opening up my own practice and use my business skills to make my practice big and whatnot, which is fine. But I still feel like clothing and fashion is something that I want to do and want to get my ideas out. And now that we're in a time where we can, and it's the right time, we have the artists that are wearing, all the artists right now, rappers and big celebrities, what do they flash?
What do you mean, money? Or
there you go. Okay. You said it. That's the first thing that came to your mind. You said, what do you mean, money? Yeah, money. That's what they flash. So if that's what the time that we're in right now, where rappers are just holding up stacks of money and flashing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I put money on a shirt and made it look elegant and make it look good. That you could actually wear it and it doesn't look corny. I think they would like it. I just got to get in the right position and the right space to meet these people to leverage, to get them on the shirt. I personally want my brand to become FUBU, the modern day FUBU. I don't know if you understand or know the story of FUBU.
Nah.
So FUBU was started by Damon John, who's one of the sharks off of Shark Tank. The only black guy on Shark Tank. Millionaire genius guy. He started FUBU back in the day, and the way how he really got his brand to blow up is one, he paid for ads. You always got to market yourself. And he decided to get his brand on the bodyguards of the celebrities backstage. So he would always, because he couldn't go directly to the celebrity because he didn't know them, but he went to the people around them, then he moved in. So this is how he did it. He put his logo on the big bodyguards, and they're big poster boards because they got big chest, they're big body, and they would wear the design that you could see, right? And so he was able to do that. And then at that point, LL Cool J saw his bodyguards wearing, all these people in the industry that were bodyguards wearing the design, to the point where when Damon John approached him, he already knew the brand. And he was already receptive to wearing it. And he decided that he wanted to wear it, and then he started wearing it in all the video shoots, all the concerts, and going on stage with it. Next thing you know it, FUBU is a staple in the hip hop community. People thought it was just for black people, but that really wasn't his intention. But regardless, he was able to build his brand. He was able to trademark his name, license his name, and spread his brand not only nationally, but internationally. Through Samsung Textiles, but he was able to leverage all those connections because he focused on his audience and he got it on the right person who was willing to support him and go far ahead. And that's what I want for my brand. And I think I can do it. I just have to be put in the right position to network and to meet one of these celebrities and just give my pitch. And come correct.
That's tough. And I guess I was also wanting to know like your plans as far as, I guess, do you want to get into, I guess, different types of clothing articles, I guess, like jackets, like coats, like, because when you were comparing like FUBU, I know FUBU, they have like a lot of different, like, I guess, like sweatsuits and stuff like that. I don't even know if they have shoes or something like that as well.
They probably have shoes and stuff. I mean, I want to definitely expand out. I want to brand the name. I want to license this name. I own the trademark to this name, so nobody go out there and steal it. I already have it. So you try me, we lure it up. But so I have the name trademarked already, and I think my goal is right now to stay in articles of clothing just to get it out there so people can see the logo on different people. And then eventually, once I get backing and support, be able to expand into different industries, fragrances, shoes, linens, clothing. I could see this on a pillow casing. Like the cursive, riches and royalty. Like, this is, I can see it everywhere, bro. Like, when I envision, I think big. That's my problem. My problem is I think too big. And so it comes to the point where people, like my friends and my family, be like, all right, slow down, slow down. You gotta start here and build it up. I'm like, yeah, but I'm thinking big. I know what to do, but I'm thinking like the dreams are so big that it just keeps me up at night and it keeps me motivated to know that when I'm working hard, when my friends ask me to come over, like last night, one of my homies, yo, Akeem, come over. I'm having this kickback. I'm bringing a couple people over, come through 10:30 at night. Sorry, bro, can't come through. I'm working on the brand. this is why I'm doing it, because my dreams are so big that I know that all these sacrifices, all these things that I'm doing, that I know I'm gonna at least get to my goals some way or other, because I'm working and I'm putting 110% behind it.
Yeah.
So that if I don't reach my goal, I'm at least gonna land on a cloud. I'm gonna shoot for the moon, and if I don't make it, I'm gonna at least land on a cloud.
Right. Yeah.
Not on the ground.
Yeah, that's tough. And you were talking a little bit about like sacrifices. So, like, do you? I guess that you could also compare that to like, you know, the Last Dance. Just as far as, you know, like making those sacrifices as far as doing the things that you might, you know, find fun, or like, you know, like having those experiences like hanging out with friends and stuff like that, rather than like, you know, because I guess like making those sacrifices now in order to, you know, better yourself, like, and the you know what I mean.
And a lot of people think I'm a workaholic, which is very true. I am a workaholic.
Yeah.
I literally stay up. I don't sleep. I'm just always doing different things. I'm recording myself while I'm working, doing all this stuff. But the way
I wanted to talk about you. Go ahead.
But the way how I got even into like this whole grind and just sacrifice is I gained that inspiration from my mother. My parents are immigrants. They immigrated here or migrated here from Jamaica.
Yeah.
And my mom works 80 hours a week. She's a nurse. She's sacrificed a lot to put us in a position to be where we are right now. And I know that I have to pay it forward for them and for my nieces and nephews, my family that I want to create. I have to pay it forward. And I know that it requires sacrifice. And I see my mom do that time over and over again for my family and my dad as well. So I've gained inspiration from them, knowing what they went through to just get us here. And I don't want to squander this opportunity to be in this country to help better my family. And in addition to that, while studying to become a doctor, while studying pre-med, I disciplined myself to not to go to social outings. Like I went out, I was still social, but then there were times when people called me in college to go to these kickbacks and parties, I didn't go. People called me to go to these different events, I didn't go. I stayed inside the dorms and I studied, I dedicated. People would come down and see me studying 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, Saturday night.
Damn. Yeah, that's real dedication.
And people saw me and would look at me and just feel guilty because they know they were going out to have fun while I was studying. And it was like, Akeem is crazy. Akeem is locked in. He's so motivated. Sometimes he just makes me want to study, just seeing him study. And those type of experiences help shape this drive, help shape this ambition, and help shape why I'm doing these sacrifices. Because I know it all stemmed from these different experiences, watching my parents and going through the pre-med journey and all that stuff. All of that helped build me to where I am. So where I'm pushing through this entrepreneurship, because this stuff is not easy. I'm going on a path that's embarked on. I'm going on a path that wasn't created. I'm creating it myself. So it's going to take more energy, more effort, and more curation of networking and skills to get to where I want to be. And that has happened for 10 years.
And take me to like one of those nights, I guess, like on campus, and you're it's a Friday night, and you see your friends, you know, they headed to a party. How do you keep your mind, you know, drilled in on what's the, you know?
You see me all amped up right now. I'm sitting there, when I'm in the books and I see them going on, I'm like, man, why am I doing this? Like, why am I sitting here, out here drawing these sticks, all these lines, organic chemistry, memorizing all this nonsense that I will never use, ever. Like, you will not use organic chemistry as a doctor when you're giving somebody medicine, when you're doing surgery or something. I'm not going to be using no organic chemistry. What am I sitting here trying to memorize all these molecules and these synthesis reactions? I'm like, ugh, why did I sign up for this? All the time. But then I knew my purpose. I knew my vision. I knew my end goal. I knew what I wanted to be. I knew that I wanted to create more representation of minority physicians in medicine. And now that I'm not even on the pre-med track right now, on the path to becoming a doctor, I can still do that, because when I start my medical professions clothing line, I'm going to be able to motivate and still able to push people who are on that pre-med track, who want to become nurses, physical therapists, physician assistants. They will be able to stay motivated and stay on their path to get to their end goal, and be able to make becoming a medical professional look cool to the younger generation. And that will inspire even more people. So even if I don't become a doctor, I know that I will be affecting change on such a grand scale that it doesn't even matter.
So like that, I guess, being able to envision, like you have a clear visual of what you want for yourself like in the future, so like that was what you kept in your mind like on those nights where you had to, you know, study the doing organic chemistry.
Yeah, for sure. That's what you have to do. You have to keep your end goal in mind and remember your why. I literally tell people all the time, when you don't feel like doing something, remember your why.
Yeah.
If it's your family, if it's that goal that you want, if it's that representation, getting more money. Usually money's not the best motivator. You got to do what you're passionate about.
Oh, my fault.
That was a strong stink bug. It died.
Damn.
But yeah, it's just like, you just got to remember your why, man.
Yeah.
Remember your why.
That's tough. And I've talked to people about it, and I don't know if you could pinpoint it either, but I always had like this sort of like something missing when it comes to, you know, knowing my origin. You know what I mean? Like, I'm from Baltimore. My parents are from Baltimore, but like I don't like, as far as, you know, like it's nothing else on me, is it?
No.
Okay. As far as being able to like pinpoint, you know, like my heritage, I guess, like I don't necessarily have any like grounding or like foundation when it comes to like where I'm from, like, you know, as far as heritage, like
culturally.
Parts of, yeah, exactly, culturally, like how do you think that that's impacted you, just knowing that, you know, your parents are immigrants and like they came here with like an objective in mind, and like, you know, like you need to be successful, or not like you need to be, you know what I mean, but like,
oh no, you need to be successful.
Yeah.
Ain't no, you're gonna embarrass our name. It's none of that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like, I came here, I sacrificed this, I spent this money on you. You better do something. You should. But I definitely feel like that's one of the driving factors, one of the pillars that anchor my motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to have some type of sense of cultural understanding of where your parents come from.
Mm-hmm.
We've been back to my family, and I have 3 other siblings, and we've gone back with our parents to their community where they grew up.
Mm-hmm.
My mom actually just helped put up a lot of money to renovate their family house.
Mm-hmm.
So they just renovated their family house and expanded it and made it nice. And so in that community, you get to see like literally where they started from, and they started from nothing.
Yeah.
Literally mud and sticks and zinc.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally like what it is. Like, it's really bad up there. They come from the countryside of Jamaica, not even Kingston. Everybody said they come from Kingston and Ocho Rios. No, they came from St. Mary's, up in the bush, up in the woods, where it's just dirt road.
Yeah.
And I see that. I see where they came from, the poverty level, and how they were able to come to this country and make a better life for themselves and their family. That has encouraged me, motivated me, and kept me on my grind.
Yeah.
And now I know my sense of purpose, and the fulfillment that I'm gonna get when I get to the other side of that success that I see and envision for myself and for my brand. I know that it's gonna be sweet, and when I be able to give back to the communities that help paid it forward for me, I just can't wait to get there, because I know that I'm gonna give back and I'm going to create opportunities for other people to succeed too.
Yeah. Damn. And so when we at first, like when we were setting up and everything, I know that we were talking about a couple of things. I think you were talking about like plans that you have as far as the brand, like I guess like well, I know for this event that's going on now, but it was something else tomorrow that you have going on, I think.
Yeah. So I don't want to talk too much about that yet, but pretty much the goal is to start doing pop-up shops, getting out into the streets, going to college campuses. So I'm going to be coming to Morgan. I'm going to be coming to Towson. I'm going to be going to Bowie. I'm going to be going to Coppin. I'm going to go to all the local surrounding schools in the Baltimore area, Stevenson, and tap in with the college students and talk to them, network, and just politic, so they can understand where I'm coming from, how the brand got started. They understand the motivation and what it actually means, so they can be on their goals and stack up too to get to their riches and royalty.
Yeah.
They can be inspired in my gear.
That's tough.
So I want to do that. I want to start doing pop-up shops. I want to start, just going out into the streets and just doing guerrilla marketing and just talking to people and relating to them and having social conversations. And as you can see, I'm a very social person.
Yeah. That's tough, dog. Yeah. So what you got planned, as far as the riches and royalty? Because I know that you were saying that you got like a big release that you want to come out with, and you're trying to like put it out on Instagram a certain way, and I guess what is it that you have planned? Oh, matter of fact, my bad, I'm forgetting about some other stuff too. So I've been noticing that you post like a lot of like the stuff that you've been doing like just on your own. Like you do like the screen printing like by yourself pretty much. Was that from the beginning? Like did you already start? Did you always do it that way? Like
so when I first started in 2010, when I started with the pin buttons first, then I had the t-shirts made, right? But the t-shirts that were made, they weren't necessarily I didn't produce them.
Yeah.
I had another company produce them in LA, matter of fact, and they shipped them over, which took too long, and I realized that wasn't going to work. I needed to find a local screen printer.
Yeah.
Me not knowing anything, I found somebody out in a different state, and that was bad. So that was also another logistical thing that I had to work out.
Yeah.
So then I realized to save more money, I needed to buy my own equipment and start making the shirts myself. And so that's when I invested into a heat press machine. My dad actually helped get that for me, and I got a heat press machine that I've been using since 2011.
Damn.
I still have that same heat press machine. The heat press machine that y'all see in those videos is the same heat press machine that I had since 2011 when my dad bought it for me. And I've been using that joint, cranking out so many shirts. I cranked out so many shirts. And the thing is, being that I went to school now and I have a better understanding of business, I realized that my job is not to work in my business. My job is to work on my business. I need to be focusing my attention on marketing, different things, not doing the day-to-day stuff as far as making shirts.
Yeah.
So once I get to that point where we have enough volume coming in, I won't be pressing shirts. You won't be seeing me doing that. But I'm showing y'all that now. I'm showing y'all the groundwork, because I wasn't really documenting back in 2010 and 2011 because I wasn't really in that content mode. I had a YouTube channel, but I wasn't showing me pressing the shirts. I was just showing the after. But what I value now as a person that's growing up and understand, I want to see the process. I want to see the timeline. I want to see from the beginning to end how you was in there in the mud, in the trenches, working, designing, pressing, shipping, packaging, all of that. I want to see the behind the scenes. I want to see everything.
Yeah.
So I'm documenting that myself.
That's tough.
Nobody's recording me.
Yeah.
I'm documenting myself. I'm setting up those time lapses myself. I'm editing my videos myself. I'm editing my TikToks. I'm editing my Instagram Reels. I'm editing my Instagram pictures. I'm maintaining those stuff myself. I'm doing all the groundwork, laying it all out so I know how every single thing runs. I'm learning how long it's going to take to do all of these different things so that when I hire people and hire assistants and to build a team, I know how efficient that it needs to be and run so that nobody can try to pull something over me and try to act like this thing takes too long. No, you can knock it out within an hour. Don't try to play me. So, you know, you got to lay that foundation. You got to do your due diligence and do the work. Do the work. A lot of people are afraid of doing the work. And that's why a lot of people don't succeed, because they're not willing to do the work. And I'm doing all of that right now. I'm doing all the content because content is key. People want to see that. That's how you reach more people. Providing value, showing how you do it. Because, I mean, nobody can replicate riches and royalty. I'm showing you what I'm doing with my brand, but you can't replicate it because we're gonna stop you.
Right.
But I'm gonna share content, how I built it up, my experiences that I had over the years, my wins and my losses, my success and my failures. I'm gonna share that.
Yeah.
And hopefully you gain some type of value from it.
Yeah, that's tough. Content is definitely important, and I don't know if I'm necessarily leveraging like I don't post that much on Instagram, like as far as like in my actual what do you call it, like
your personal Instagram,
personal,
reels,
I'm posting mainly just on my like story, and that's pretty much it.
That's bad.
I got it. Yeah, exactly.
That's bad. You are a content creator.
Yeah.
You are a content creator. You have an excellent platform that you're building from the ground up. You need to start sharing your content on your Instagram reels. Do little snippets,
clips,
little clips.
Yeah, for real.
Get people interested. The highlights. Draw people's attention in, and then lock them in. Send them, create a funnel. Get them to your YouTube channel. Get them to your Spotify podcast link, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
You got to start creating that content to draw people in.
Yeah.
And run ads.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of ads. Run some ads.
Definitely.
On Instagram, boost your posts.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
So the inspiration now, as far as these that you coming out with, I guess like the color schemes, and then also just like the updates to the logo in general. Like, what was your ideas behind this?
So when I first came out with this cash stack money design, as I first described in the beginning, it had like a $sign and a heart in there.
Yeah, right. I remember that.
It had a lot of color going on. As I've gotten older, I tend to drawn to more things that are simple.
Yeah.
has less going on. So I was trying to take a busy old design, the classic riches and royalty cash money stack design.
And simplify.
How can I simplify this?
Yeah.
So I was looking at it over the summer and I was like, how can I simplify this and make it better? How can I make it more stronger, pop out, mean something more, and it still convey the same message to the people who understand and resonated with it and supported it? This is a nostalgic design.
Yeah.
For people who haven't seen it before, I wanted to pop and get their attention. So I was thinking about all those different things. And so then that's what allowed me to be able to simplify it and get it down to this. Get it down to this where it's now the dollar sign and the heart is removed from the R. I took the wording riches and royalty because I'm a branding guy.
Yeah,
I'm all about marketing and branding.
To know what
so on here,
immediately
you see the double R, the riches and royalty. That's R and R. People love abbreviations.
Yeah.
Instead of saying riches and royalty, people just might call it R and R.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that was on there. And then if people were to look at it and say, what's R and R? You can see it right here. It says riches and royalty. Simple, straight to the point. And clearly we understand riches and we understand royalty if you think about royalty in the traditional sense, but if you don't understand royalty in the way that I'm trying to convey with the generational wealth, that can be explained and it will make sense.
Right.
So I wanted something that was simple and easy to get across and people don't have to think too hard about. And now that I removed all that stuff from it, it's easier on the eyes. And now I've actually expanded my targeted audience, although it's not above 38 people over the age of 35. People over the age of 35 are now gravitating towards this design, which I did not expect. I expected people that knew the brand from when I first started it, and plus the younger kids, when I first started, like 14, 15, 18, those people would like it. But now people older in their 50s are liking it.
Yeah.
So I have a good problem on my hands. And then now I also have this more simple, sleek, just signature of the brand's name, Riches and Royalty, established in 2010. I want that to be my signature t-shirt. I want this to be the standout piece that someone who doesn't want to necessarily wear a cash on them, they'll feel comfortable just having the signature on them. Yeah. Because it's riches and royalty, and who doesn't want riches and royalty?
Yeah. Yeah. For real.
So
I like that.
That's what it's all about, and it's promoting people to move towards and stack up on their goals to reach their own goal. And a lot of us want to be successful, want to be able to pass a legacy down and have generational wealth and provide for our families, and that's what it's all about. And it's just to encourage people to get there by having a bold design that represents that.
Yeah. And the colors, what made you choose the what's that, like a beige, like an off-white and a beige?
I love this off-white, bro.
Yeah, that's
like,
tough.
The off-white, like ever since they started making, they weren't making off-white hoodies and stuff like that. Like that wasn't a thing until like recently.
Like with the tones.
And, the tones, like the natural earth tones. I just love it. It just looks so good and easy on the eyes. So being that we're in September right now, October's around the corner. Right. We're about to hit fall
weather. Yeah.
So fall weather's about to come up. It's hoodie season, shorty. It's hoodie season. So I thought it would be perfect to get the off-white color and then hit some fall colors on there. So we got this nice fall orange matching the leaf color you see.
That's
tough.
That leaf that's color. Tough as shit.
And so I want people to feel nice in this hoodie. It's good quality. Feel the quality, man. It's good quality material. I don't play with my material. I source good quality material.
Definitely.
And I can't wait to get people in this and start wearing it on college campuses and around the city and stuff, streetwear, and people start seeing it and ask where the brand's from and where they can get it. I can't wait for it because I know I've already proved the concept. Yeah. I proved it back in 2010, 2015 because I stopped it in 2017. And so I stopped this brand in 2017 and now I'm finally relaunching it now in 2021. Yeah. And sometimes you just need to pause to revamp, rethink, recalibrate, and really solidify what your brand mean. Yeah. And move forward and try it again. FUBU got stopped 3 times before it became mainstream. For real? 3 times.
Damn.
So, we'll see.
And you had mentioned, I don't want to jump too much, but you had mentioned being sort of in a rut, or just not necessarily having to sort of go back and reassess where you are and figure out where you want to go. Recently, what were some of the things that you did in order to get yourself out of that state where you weren't feeling as high up on yourself, because now you're doing well, so you feeling better, you know what I mean?
So a lot better.
Yeah, so
take care of your mental health, people. It's very important. Yeah. I definitely, I'm high right now and I'm happy and I'm really in a good space, but not high like in a negative way, high like a cloud nine happy. Okay, I just have to make sure to clarify that. But it like that low point for me. I was in my room. I didn't want to come out. I was locked in, and I felt down and depressed about the situation. But then I realized that I couldn't let that situation define me. I couldn't let that situation be the end-all, be-all. I couldn't let that situation stop my true potential.
Yeah.
I know my worth. I know my value. I know what I can bring to the table. And I can't wait to prove that to all the people who try to play me, who try to talk dirt on my name, who try to play games with me and try to act like what I was doing was not the correct thing. So I can't wait to prove everyone wrong, and that's what gave me my motivation to continue down this road and continue fighting, continue pushing, and persevering. Perseverance is key. That's everything. Like, you got to persevere. You got to be determined, and don't let no situation, no matter how hard or how bad it gets, stop you. And I didn't let this stop me. I didn't let that situation stop me. So what I did was, first, I took a vacation. And I went to Mexico, and I celebrated. I had to take a break. I was in I was in this program for a year, and it was bad. Like, it just became so bad, and so I needed to take a break. I went on vacation. I refueled myself. And I tried to come back and then get back to the books. But then I realized it just wasn't sticking. It wasn't working like how it was supposed to work. So I said I couldn't do this no more. And I had to take a step back to reassess what I was naturally gifted at. What am I really passionate about? What can I do 10 times over without anybody pushing me, and without anybody telling me to go and study, without anyone telling me to get up and do this and do that? What is that thing? This is that thing. This is that drive. This is that fire that keeps me going. And I knew that, and I was fighting it for years. Because people were saying, Akeem, just do a doctor, do medicine. You know it's solidified. You know that's what you're supposed to do. Akeem, you're passionate about that. You know you're going to make a lot of money at the end. Just keep your head down in the books. But I'm like, I don't know. I think I have something here. I feel like I have this thing here that's going to get me to the other side that you guys can't see. And they can't see it because it's not their vision. It's my vision. It's what's in my head. It's my dreams that God has given me. Only I can see this, and only I can see this through by putting in the work. Nobody else can do that. And I didn't realize that until now. I let different people sway me and stop R&R. Different people told me to stop doing it a long time ago. People told me that design, all right, Akeem, get rid of it. Not thinking that these people are saying that because they were so used to seeing it because they're local. However, I'm not dealing with them anymore.
It's not
it's not just about them anymore. It's about scaling. It's about taking it to the next level, reaching more people that have not seen the brand before. And that's what I want to do. I want to reach the masses who haven't seen it before. And the thing that I didn't get to talk to y'all about is that when I started R&R back in the day, we only had Facebook. One. Then we evolved to have Instagram. And then TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube was back then, but YouTube wasn't what it is now back then. But what we have now on these platforms, social media platforms, are ads. We have marketing tools. We don't do traditional newspaper marketing and TV commercials like that anymore. Those are cool, but what's more effective? What's everybody on?
Your phone.
They're on this. They're on this, right? So the effective marketing tool is to use ads, to use social media ads to reach more people. If I was able to build such an organic following and people that supported R&R by just using the organic method on Instagram and just word of mouth in my community, imagine what I can do with ads when I execute properly with this new revamped design.
That's true.
So you're going to see that after October 1st when we release this new collection, it's going to the top. And I see it, I feel it, I envision it.
That's true.
God has put it in my mind, and I'm going to see it through.
Damn, that's tough. And you have a winner's mentality, just period. I feel like anything that you probably do would be successful, like whatever you set in your mind to, because you just I can tell that you just have that that mindset where it's like what you were talking about as far as college wise, like your bachelor's degree, just spending that time, spending those hours just to instead of going out making those sacrifices, like you just I see that. That's tough. That's what's up.
I have so many people that have seen walk by knocking the glass because we had a see-through study lounge on the floor. We lived in a nice dorm, and you could walk by, knock on the glass, and people just knocking the glass. Akeem, bye, I'm going out, turning out. They just did a little pregame, and I'm like, I'm here in the books.
That's what's up, man.
But that's what really taught me that sacrifice and that discipline, built up that discipline to give me this power and this passion to get through. A lot of people have great ideas, but it's about the execution. It's about the action.
Yeah.
It's about stacking up.
That's what's up.
Stack up.
For real though. Damn, it was something else that I wanted to talk to you about. What we were talking about before this. Shit, I don't even remember what it was. Damn it. But I guess like did the exercise, did that also help you with you know, getting out of that rut as well? Like
yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I got my gym membership around the time where I was going through all of that. I was also like, because like in college when I got stressed out, I went to the gym. I worked out, hitting the track.
Yeah.
I ran track in high school. So that's, and I was the team captain in team captain in high school.
You doing any long distance running, or is it just like sprints?
I was sprinting 200 meter.
What about currently?
Now I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
But I just run on the treadmill or whatnot. So anytime I run or work out like that, it allows me to clear my mind. And have a new like canvas to start painting again. A new canvas to start absorbing new information and learning, and just going about my day. Feeling more re-energized and refreshed. And I think that's very important, is to find a way to recalibrate. And if that's working out, if that's creating, talking to people, going getting food, hanging out with a family, a special loved one, a significant other, you got to go and do that. You got to refuel. You got to take care of yourself first before you can go and do anything else. And in those dark times that I was in, I had to take care of myself. I went to the gym. I worked out. I hang out with friends and family. I took traveling time. I took time to just recalibrate after an intensive year. And I'm not talking about this intensive year yet. I'll be talking about it on my YouTube channel, so please go and follow me on my Mission to Medicine YouTube channel, because I definitely will be talking about it down the road. But it's definitely an experience that I can't wait to unravel and unpack.
That's what's up. Damn, that's tough as hell. Because for me, like whenever I definitely go to, my main thing is running, so I do like a few miles. So like typically if I am running, it's like no less than 3 miles, but I like to get like to 5, recently 5, and also sometimes maybe I want to get to 10. So like the most I had did, like it might have been like last week or 2 weeks ago, I did 7, but I want to get to 10.
Did you ever play sports in like high school, college? Or?
So high school I had ran cross country.
Oh, nice.
And then I ran outdoor track for like, I only probably did like one of the like meets, and I just like stopped doing it. But I had played football, just like JV football.
Okay.
But yeah, like I had got really into just like long distance running from, actually I had got into long distance running. I think I might have, I think it was when I tried out for the basketball team because I was going to City, but City had like a super nice basketball team.
They were stacked.
I didn't really have any experience like playing basketball like at all outside of like, you know, outside with my homeboys. So when I tried out, I didn't make it, but it had like it had gave me some just like not ambition, but like the drive to just do a little bit more exercise. Because when I tried out, we were doing like suicides, and I was like dying. Like I'm like, yo, like. And I see everybody else, like, you know, and they like not really as bothered by the workouts that we were doing, but like I'm like, all right, like I'm not as in shape as I need to be. So I had started doing a little bit of running, and then I had noticed as I was like getting into running, like my focus was like changing. I was feeling a little bit more relaxed, like my body was just feeling good. So I just really just got addicted to running just based off of like the feeling that it gives me like afterwards. So that's really like that's my main thing for real. Like whenever
the runner's high is no joke.
Yeah,
people gotta understand that runner's high when you're running.
Yeah.
Your mind just clears. You're in the zone. You're just focused. You just like, oh, let me get to that end goal.
Yeah.
And you just locked in, like, and that's how I work. That's how I work. When I get locked into this brand, I can go a couple hours without eating.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I ate or not.
For
I'm
real,
just
though.
working.
Yeah.
And then like when people break my concentration and like what I'm doing, it just messes me up. I like to be locked in the zone.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Like, so
I love that. Yeah.
I think running is just a way to just take those principles and those experiences that you have when you're working out. It helps reshape you, get you back to normal to come and do your work. And I recommend it to everybody.
Hell yeah, locking in. Was there any I don't know that we talked about the brand. Was there anything else that you had in mind, I guess, to discuss.
Not really.
Yeah. I know we covered a lot.
We talked a lot of stuff. We talked about the brand, but then we segued into other things.
Trying to think if there was any other things. So one of the things that I've been like considering, so at first, like the podcast, it was mainly for like I was looking like what we were talking about as far as like the demographic, like who was your targeted audience. And so what I was targeting towards was like, you know, late teens, like teenagers going into college, but just being able to see like black professionals in, you know, certain spaces and like showing them like, you know, that there are black people doing other things outside of like what they might see. Because for me personally, like growing up in the city, I don't feel like I was necessarily like around as many black professionals in order to know like all of the different like opportunities that were out there. So it was like this, I was going to be using this for that, but I'm starting to think that I might, you know, make it a little bit more inclusive than what I was setting out to do. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm in between with that right now. I'm thinking about it.
You're testing what content is actually moving better, like what people are gravitating towards better, or
nah, I'm just thinking about like what I'm doing, I guess I'm developing like the message, I guess, or like I'm trying to get more information out there just as far as like the importance of, you know, like certain work ethics, like doing certain things, like having like what you were talking about, like education, like being educated on things, like in order to, you know, build certain skill sets. So like that was the main thing. So it was like just getting information out there. So like, but I was thinking that I wanted it to be, you know, like for like the black, you know, demographic, I guess. But now like I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking about, you know, because it's like I felt like it was a point where I'm like, I don't know if it's limiting, you know what I mean? Like, of course it's nice to like know that, like, of course I will still get like, you know, a bunch of black people that are doing like that are doing like good things and like showing the positive side of like, you know, black people. But I just don't want to like limit myself to like just, you know, this demographic. Like I want people to know that like you can learn from other people outside of just, you know, your people.
Bring experts,
you know what I mean?
Experts
exactly.
in different fields.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to look like you in order for you to relate to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Valuable
and
information.
That's what,
people have to understand that. I think that's very critical. But I do think you should have a focus on a target demographic. Not everybody's going to want to listen to you. Not everybody's going to have to care about your message.
Right.
You need to tap in with a certain audience or group of people who you think will resonate with you.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm not going to go and target every single Caucasian person with riches and royalty because I don't think they're necessarily going to be that fond of it. They're more so into things like the beach, surf, and stuff, those type of brands that are more preppy and that type of stuff. But a lot of black people are more interested in this type of stuff. So I'm going to be focusing more on black people because I know that's who are going to like this stuff more likely. You're not going to go after people who are not going to like your stuff. You have to go after people who you know are definitely going to go for it.
Yeah.
So you have to do your research on who's watching and who's listening. Look at your insights. Look at if it's more women watching, if it's more men watching, how long are they listening for, looking at what part of the country they're in, what type of things that they're into. You got to do those research. Once you build up more of a bigger audience, you get to see who's watching. Because like on my YouTube channel, I see who's watching. It's more men watching. It's more people that are from the East Coast are watching. It's more people who are interested in college videos, not necessarily pre-med videos. They're interested in what you bring to college. What's a day in the life of a college student? They're interested in those type of videos. Yeah. It's not necessarily pre-med all the time. You don't have to do pre-med. You have to do, and I also do tech videos, review Apple iPhones and stuff like that and iPads. I don't have to do those all the time, but I do what people are there for. If they're coming there for a certain thing, then I focus on that. Right. So you follow the data. Use your data to tailor your decision. Don't just go off a whim and just like, I just want to do that. Right. Check what's going on. Look at the information that these analytic tools are giving you. Then you make an evidence-based decision. And that's what you got to do, an evidence-based decision, along with what you're actually passionate about making.
Jeez, yeah. I didn't even think about it that way. Like, and now you got me thinking like, damn, like, let me do some more, like, you know, reading up on like business management and like, you know, just business, like business in general, like business theory, I guess, because like small things like that, as far as like marketing, like the things to do, like as far as like targeting audiences, making those decisions. Like I've never even thought like to think like before you make a decision, think about like these things first. Like who are you, who's watching right now? It
makes a hell of a difference.
Yeah.
I've literally created one YouTube video based off of looking at the data of that the day in the life videos were trending at the time, and that's what people wanted to see. I made that video. That video has done over 70K views.
Yeah.
I have over 1,000+ likes on that one video.
Jeez.
That video has garnered me hundreds of dollars of ad revenue from my YouTube channel because I decided to do an evidence-based approach. Look at what was trending, look at the stats, look at who was watching, and made that decision instantly. Made that video in a week, got that out, and that video is still paying me to this day.
Damn. Yeah.
So you got to do evidence-based approach, and I learned that method being a public health science student. You don't have to be a public health science student to know evidence-based methodology, but in public health, we take an evidence-based approach when trying to apply public health policies and procedures to a community. Trying to, like COVID-19, if you see that underserved communities where majority African American people are living, they are being hit and have higher rates of mortality and morbidity for COVID-19, then we have to tailor more resources, more vaccinations, more vaccination sites, and more resources to those communities to help them. That's an evidence-based approach, looking at the statistics to draw what type of decision and action you want to take place in that community to help solve the problem.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do and take with our businesses, with the platforms that we're building. We have to take an evidence-based approach. So that's what I recommend.
Yeah.
You can learn it on YouTube too. You can go on YouTube and type in all these different type of theories and stuff, and it will pop up. But my ground where I learned about that was in college.
Yeah.
And now I'm just applying it to this stuff.
For me, right, it's like more of a, I guess, like intuitive. You know what I mean? Oh damn! I hope that's not too loud. But it's more intuitive. So like when I'm thinking about you know, decisions that I make, is like I understand that, like as far as like the demographics and stuff like that, and like, but I've never like really like looked at the numbers and like really like did an analysis of, you know, like what's going on. I might like just like breeze over something and be like, okay, like cool, that looks all right, like, and then that's it. You know what I mean?
Those numbers are gonna save you, especially as you grow. When you grow and you start getting more, it's about getting more growth and getting more numbers, because the more numbers you get, the more accurate your data is gonna be representative of what you should be doing. So as you get more numbers and you have a consistent following, then you're really able to say, all right, this is what I need to be doing because the numbers are saying this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bet. Well, now I got something to go. I got something to go home and think about, bro. That's tough.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to think if there was any other thing, because I know we touched on a lot. Was there any other things that you wanted to plug, I guess, coming up, or you know, like as far as like, you know, moves that you're making?
Okay. So as far as like things that I want y'all to be on a lookout for, I do have the revamp of this clothing line of Riches and Royalty clothing being revamped on October 1st. It will be released to the public. We will be having things that are already ready to purchase. We will be having things that need to be pre-ordered, and we're gonna be releasing everything to the brand. We're gonna have a video release concept. I'm looking for models. If this video happens to come out before the release date, I need some models. So if you look good, please hit my DMs. You can follow me on Instagram at KingKeem8 and reach out to me. I'll be responsive. Or you can follow the brand's Instagram at Riches, the letter N, Royalty on Instagram, and follow us. We'll follow you back. We're building a community of people that want to stack up, who wants to get better so they can reach their riches and royalty. That stack of cash at the end. And I also, if you're a medical professional, because I know I probably have some medical professionals watching this video, future medical professionals, I'll be dropping Mission to Medicine clothing line very soon, so that's in the works. Be on the lookout for that.
Thank you, bro. Well,
thank you, man.
I appreciate your time, dog.